Hey everybody, Dennis from Ace Boas coming back at you here with another video. Today I am showing you the beautiful Russoline San Isidro Costa Rican boa. Look how gorgeous this boa is. Well, this video is actually not about this boa. I just wanted to give you a boa to look at while I speak, because I know deep in our hearts we're all here for the same reason, and that's the boas. These are great boas. They have a rusty look to them, and they used to be pretty common in collections, but you don't see them as much anymore. I think a lot of them have been crossed out and stuff, which in my heart is a shame. To each their own. I do know another common complaint is, oh, well, they don't really bring nothing. Well, no, you ain't gonna get rich off them, that's for sure. But once again, it's not what the hobby's about. It's about keeping things around that might not be around 50 years from now. So a beautiful snake like this with beautiful rust color, all natural, Mother Nature's creation. It doesn't get any better in my eyes. And as long as I'm around, these snakes will be bred, kept pure, and kept the way they should be kept. Beautiful rust color snakes and great two-tone sides, and that's all natural. Well, let's get to today's video. Today's video, by the way, is going to be all about water. That's right, you heard it, water. I'm going to try to do a lot of these videos for people that are beginners. Maybe you'll pick something up if you're not a beginner, So I figured one thing we would have to cover for sure would be water. And what I do. First and foremost, I go up and I change my water bowls every other day. Now, if somebody get on here and say, well, I don't change mine every day. I change mine every 2 days or whatever it may be. That's fine. I change mine every other day. I dump it out and I just refill it. That's it. I'm not saying I take the whole bowl out, dump it out and refill. Then that second go round, I dump out and I refill again. At that point, when it's empty, I totally change the bowl. And my process when I change a bowl is I take the bowl, and here's a bowl right here, for example. I used to have names on the back of them. I no longer do because of my process. I prefer the ceramic over plastic. I do have both. But now what I do is I take the bowls and I put them in about a 20% bleach solution mixed with water. And I let them sit in there for, I'd say, approximately 1 hour. I try. Of course, if there's any debris, like, or whatever it may be, snake poop, right? A perfect example, what could be in them? Snake poop, snake urine. If I see it in them before I dump them, I'll actually let them, I'll put a little bit of pure bleach in there for maybe about 2 minutes before it goes in that bleach solution, 80-20. And then what I do is I pull them back out. And then when I pull them out, I put them in a bucket of plain water. No bleach, just plain water. And I let it sit in there for equal time. So it's an hour to an hour and a half, then it sits in the water for an hour to an hour and a half. I can make these bowls like an all-day process. I have some big tubs I use. I use like 5-gallon trash barrels to fill them. And then, when it's done with that, it goes in my trusty old dishwasher behind me, and I put it on hot cycle with sterilization. So they get sterilized inside. I have a sterilization cycle in my dishwasher. I sterilize them. At that point, the reason I no longer have names in these bowls written anywhere is because it does not matter. You do not need a name in the bowl at that point. There's nothing that's going to transfer from one snake to another. After that complete process is done, never has happened in all my years of keeping, never is going to happen. Another thing about water bowls real quick, I love touching on this one. It's not about that right now, right? And as I said, it's been well over a decade for me, probably closer to 12 years since I've ever battled any mites. Only battled them once in my life. All the years of keeping. It's my own dumb fault. I brought him home, by the way, from a friend's house to help him with his snake. Dumb. But anyhow, from that battle, I did learn one thing. Always have people ask me all the time online, oh, I'm battling mites. I can't get rid of them. Why can't I get rid of my mites? They won't go. I'm doing everything in the cage. They're doing everything but this right here. Taking this, throwing this in the sink for 2 minutes, putting it back in the cage. Most of the time, a lot of people keep these on the warm side to keep the humidity up in the cage. you're doing yourself no favors. The mites get underneath there and lay all sorts of eggs because they like humid areas, damp areas. They come off their host. They don't like to leave the host very far. They go underneath that water bowl. They lay all their eggs, and then you have a problem. That's why I like the ceramic bowls. Now, the ceramic bowls, I always tell people, if you have an issue like that, bring water to a raging boil. Get a pair of tongs. That way it don't bounce around and crack inside the boiling water. Drop this into the raging boiling water for approximately 2 to 3 minutes and hold it down there with the tongs. Do that with each and every one of the snakes that you're treating, and I can promise you, absolutely promise you, no mite or mite egg is going to survive that. So then after you treat the whole cage and put the bowl back in, you are going to be a lot more likely to be successful a lot faster. I figured I'd just cover that because it's kind of has to do with water and water bowls. We're going to have a whole another segue on that, but that'll be a long one. Lastly, I use only bottled water. I know there's a million out there that are going to tell me that I'm wrong, and they use this, and they use that. That's fine. It's not going to change what I use. I use only bottled water. The only negative I can see with bottled water is the possible plastics, right? The silicates, whatever they call it. My tap water here is like pure chlorine. There was a fellow, no names mentioned, that lost almost his whole collection of emeralds. And he brought him to the vet because all the money he had into him. And he found out about 16 months it took, the building of the chlorates in him killed him. The chlorides from his tap water. And that's what killed him. Every one of them. So from that day forward, tap water's over at me. Some people say, oh, I use tap water with the breather turn on. But when you put the Brita on, if you notice from the beginning, it runs jet black. It even tells you to do that. That's good enough reason for me to think, well, I don't want charcoal in my water. And so I don't do that. Even after the dishwasher, I give it one more quick rinse, and I'll tell you why. I try to make sure all the stupid jet dries out there. But I know they don't have jet dry in the jungle, right? I don't think there's any jet dry in the jungle, folks. So I just give them one more rinse real quick to make sure there's no jet dry residue, which may or may not hurt anything, but I wouldn't take a chance. Now, lastly, one last step that I do on like a quarterly maintenance on these bowls. This one has it. You can hear it, and you'll feel it. Even from bottled water, you get hard water deposits in there. Calcium is really what it is. Scale, calcium, scale, whatever you want to call it. And with that, what I'll do with that, I'll get a little regular vinegar. Some people get the real strong stuff that you dilute. I just get regular vinegar, whatever it is, 3%. At the grocery store, the cheapest gallon I can find. And it's generally only on the bottom. So I'll fill them up, and I'll let them sit overnight. And then I'll pour them out in the morning. And you know what else you can do if you really want to cheat? If you have another 30 bowls lined up, take the 30 you got filled, pour them to the next 30. Because after that, these will be smooth as a baby. All that calcium, all the scale will be gone. And then they're going to go through that process, right? They're going to go through that process afterwards. They're going to get a quick rinse into the bleach solution, into the straight water, into the dishwasher on the sterilization cycle with hot water wash, and then a quick rinse in the sink to make sure no jet dry or anything's on them. So once that process is over, you'll have a scale-free, clean bowl. That only probably needs to be done once a quarter. Some of you may never do it. The scaling bothers me. It may not hurt the snakes. I don't know, but I just do it anyway. Anyhow, I just want to say thank you all. I'm really loving doing this stuff. I hope so much more educational stuff gets out from my videos. I'm going to cover everything and then something that I can possibly think of. The comments are always open. And if you made it this far, please, 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 me and this beautiful San Isidro ask you to please like and subscribe. That way we can keep this channel going and hopefully have lots of fun and teach newcomers lots of stuff. Hey, thank you all for your support. Ace Boas out.